This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. So if you cast your mind back to about a year ago, UK lawyer Ronald Gibbs, and he'd allegedly stolen funds that was placed in charge of by a Saudi princess. Now, the money that he misappropriated, he used some of it to purchase a yacht, brand new yacht from Sunseeker called Elysium. He went to a court last year saying that he had no money and that he had to take temporary jobs just to make ends meet, and all the money had gone. A long story short, the court didn't believe him, and they ordered him to pay $40 million, thereabouts, $39.5 million to the Saudi princess. Now, the original amount that he was put in power of attorney over was $25 million in 2011, but the judge ordered interest on the original $25 million he had controlled. Now, he said he didn't have any money, and so, like I said, some of the money had been used to purchase this yacht, and the rest of it, they didn't know where it was. Now, Grand Court in the Cayman Islands ordered, they found a bank account in the Cayman Islands with money in, and the court in the Cayman Islands ordered that bank account be seized. Now, anyway, the reason why we brought this up again is because the yacht that was for sale, this Sunseeker yacht, the 40-meter Sunseeker yacht, it was seized in Spain. I think it was under a British court order, and the vessel has been sailed to Gibraltar, most likely because it's the nearest UK authority, and the vessel is now going to be auctioned by the Gibraltar Admiralty. So this is the same Admiralty that auctioned motor yacht Axioma last year, or it might have been 2023 actually. The auction is it's a sealed bid auction, and it requires the offers to be received by Tuesday, the 28th of January. Now, the vessel was for sale up until recently for 14 million euros, I believe it was. So someone could get an absolute bargain here. The yacht was built to the Large Yacht Code 3 standards, but it's currently not compliant. Not quite sure why. This was in the auction advert. Now, what we'll do is we'll post a link in the description of this video, so you can go and look at this. If you want to bid, even, you can go and have a look. You can click on there and you can place your bid there. Obviously, they're going to make sure that you have the money before you can bid, but there's an awful lot of photographs there. You can see, you can really see well around the vessel, including the crew areas, the crew cabins, the guest cabins, the bridge, engine room, everything. It's quite interesting to see, actually. You can see some of the crew areas, which is kind of unusual to see that kind of thing. But yeah, it's potentially someone's going to get a real bargain here because it's a seized vessel and they usually go for less than their market value. I believe he paid closer to 20 million for this boat, so it has devalued somewhat, probably because of the fact that it's been seized for quite some time now. It's currently not compliant, so it needs work doing. Now, it was in a shipyard when it was seized in Adriano in Mallorca, and you can see in some of the photographs there's still got a plastic cover on the floor. I believe that's probably from the refit. I mean, it could have been placed there because the vessel's been seized, but it's unlikely that anyone would have wanted to pay money to put that down. Now, when you go into refit on a yacht, they put that down on all the carpets so they don't get damaged by workers on board, all the stairs and everything like that. And then it's pulled up at the last. That's the last thing that gets pulled up when the vessel's about to leave the shipyard. Now, this boat, because it was seized in the shipyard, it's probably been left from then. That's my guess anyway. But yeah, interesting to see. We'll follow it. We'll try to find out how much the vessel sells for. I don't know whether they're going to disclose that at the end. We're currently talking to the Admiralty about the details of that, so we'll bring more details when we have it. They might come back to us because they want to get as much publicity as they can to get people bidding on this yacht, right? Anyway, we'll move on to our next story, and it's about Motor Yacht Fee. You must know this vessel. If you've watched more than a few videos, you'll know this vessel. We've talked about it numerous occasions. The owner of this yacht is going to be back in court in the UK this month. He's taking his case to the Supreme Court of the UK. You'll probably, like I said, you'll probably know this story by now. The vessel was detained by the UK government in 2022, the former UK government now, and it was deemed that the owner was, as Grant Shapps at the time said, who was the Minister for Transport at the time, said he was connected with Putin. The courts later said that he shouldn't have said that, but the vessel was detained, despite the fact the owner is not on any sanctions, and he still isn't 2 years later. And for sure they've tried. They even said in a previous statement, I read a previous statement where they said they looked into him, they couldn't find anything to sanction him with, and yet his boat is still detained there. It's not looking good. He's already had 2 court cases in the UK, both went against him, but now he's had what is being described as a terminal illness. So that the vessel itself looks like it has a terminal illness as well. It looks very dilapidated now. There's a number of issues with the vessel. It's got some damage to the hull based on not being able to be moved and being able to take it out of the water. You can see there's a lot of scaffolding on the vessel now, where they're trying to hide things from the elements, parts of the vessel from the elements. Also, we understand the vessel is out of class now. It's come out of class because they've been unable to maintain it. And also, we believe that the insurance has now lapsed on the vessel as well. So they're in a lot of trouble there. The UK government apparently originally had said that they were going to allow them to move it to another location in the UK where the vessel could be looked after and have some basic work carried out on it to stop it from getting further damaged. But for whatever reasons, that has not happened. I don't know why that hasn't happened. That's the least they could do, I think, to allow them to move it somewhere to have some basic work done on it. There's no reason to not do that I can see. It wouldn't be very hard to do, put a couple of Coast Guard people on board, or track them with AIS and have it shadowed by a boat or something. But yeah, so that's going to happen anyway this month. We'll bring you obviously the results of that when we get them. And we'll move on to our main story now, and this is a brand new catamaran which had been ordered by the popular sailing YouTube channel, has run aground in Malaysia on a maiden trip. I'll put some footage on the screen here so you can see what's happened. Vessel had been named SV Maverick and was being delivered by a professional delivery crew to Singapore from Thailand to be put onto a yacht transporter and delivered to the US. However, the vessel never made it to Singapore. The yacht left Thailand on the 12th of December, but on that maiden trip, on the 19th of December, the yacht started to take on water. The initial inspection conclusion was that the port side shaft seal had started leaking, but this has not been confirmed yet. Later, the drive system shut down, most likely because of water ingress. The crew headed to mainland Malaysia, to a shipyard in Endau, I believe it's pronounced, but with no motors, they only had their sails, and they struggled and eventually grounded just a few miles from that location. Now, according to a press release from the company that built the vessel and the YouTube channel Sailing Doodles, that's the name of the channel that ordered the boat, the brand new yacht grounded on that beach in Malaysia. The yacht was then battered by the sea for 2 days and was completely flooded as she lay on the beach. According to the video on the Sailing Doodles channel, the vessel is a complete write-off. Every inch of the vessel being filled with water at some point. Really unfortunate. I'll post a link to that video if you want to go and see it. He did a stream and he talked about what had happened. All right, we'll move on to our next story. This is Nobberskrug. They've received they're receiving some help. You might remember in a previous episode we told you that the company had filed for insolvency, and this was the second time since 2021 that the company had been in trouble. The workers even went on strike because of unpaid salaries. This is before, I believe, they realised that the company was in trouble, and they were on strike in November last year, which we covered in that previous video. The Nobberskrug yacht builders and shipyard have received temporary help from the German state. This comes following that insolvency. Now, they spoke to Boat International. The lawyers, Hendrik Gitterman and Christoph Morgan, appointed as administrators for FSG-Nobberskrug. They said, we've already held initial talks with potential investors. Their positive investment decision is dependent on the future capacity utilization of the site, says Morgan, pointing to the possibility of contracts with the Navy and offshore wind industry in addition to orders for superyachts and cruise ships. The German state loan covers the employees' November salaries and ensures short-term wages and salaries of almost 500 employees. That's until the end of January. After this point, it's up to the yard to find suitable investments. Otherwise, it's not looking good. All right, we'll move on. We just got some news coming in just as we were about to film, actually. This is about a super yacht connected with Andrei Guriev, motor yacht Luminosity. The yacht was detained in Montenegro in 2022. The vessel was delivered there a week before the owner was placed on the sanctions list. As a result, the owner's never been on board. The vessel has never moved from there since. And we also recently mentioned not that long ago that the vessel was up for sale, despite the owner being under sanctions. The company explained at the time that they had some sort of permission, but they never showed us any documents to say that they had that permission, but they said, that they had permission to do it from the UK government. Now, the reason why we brought this up is that the crew of that boat, when the vessel was sanctioned, or when the owner was sanctioned and the vessel was detained in Montenegro, the management company of the crew had to sever ties with the yacht. And they told them that they couldn't even pay them their final salaries, but they would when they got permission to from the UK government. They had to apply for a special license to be able to pay the crew their final salaries. I think it was like 1 or 2 months. Anyway, almost a year ago to the day, we got information through that they finally got that license, and they just had to sort out a little bit more red tape before they paid that money. But since then, we found out today that those crew have still not been paid that final salary a year later. So we've contacted Burgess to find out. They're the company that was managing the vessel at the time. They said they're going to come back to us with official information about what's happened. But it's quite remarkable that they still haven't been paid. It's 2 years now since that boat was detained in Montenegro, and still no pay. Now, this is only the final pay from when Burgess had to sever ties. The crew that were staying on board, they had a skeleton crew on board that vessel for months after that, and that money they've not received either. So it's a big mess with that boat. The boat has also been, the sale of the boat has also been paused because the vessel owes money to the port of Montenegro, and to other people as well are owed money. So we'll go into that in the next video. But I just wanted to bring that to you because it just came in just as we were about to start filming. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. Be sure to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/eSysman. There's lots of videos on there that you can watch. And also, you can even sign up for free now, and you'll get some content. You won't get all the content, but you'll get some. But you can sign up for free, so free content, Also, if you've got any information for us about any of these stories, as always, you can get us in the email address in the ticket, news@theyachtreport.co.uk. Be sure to like this video, very important for the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for future notifications. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.